8 minutes and 46 seconds. I challenge you. Good evening, everyone. This is Claudia Moss, and welcome back to my channel. I am here tonight on this historic day to celebrate the life of George Floyd, a 46-year-old man who begged for his life for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, while 3 officers stood by, and one was very concerned with the crowd and what the crowd was doing, while the other officer had his knee in George Floyd's neck. He had his knee in George Floyd's neck, as we all saw, while people filmed him. He was so confident in what he was doing. He was subduing a man who had not behaved in a violent way. A man that they were called for, an offense that did not require 4 officers and death. But George Floyd was African American, and that alone called for his death in broad daylight, in the middle of the street, with cameras, cell phones, recording the tale. Perhaps that was why it went viral and touched the world. Systemic racism, people, Americans, and those who might be watching from other countries. Systemic racism has to be staunched. It has to be erased from the grain of society. When I see police officers in my rearview mirror, I am concerned, and every cell in my body says it is justified. I am an African American woman in America. It is justified. Not only am I concerned for myself when I see officers now and yesterday because of this systemic racism, I am concerned for other people when I see them on the curb being accosted or arrested or questioned by police officers, especially white police officers. And they could be black ones. I'm concerned with them as well. Like the 2 black officers who used unnecessary force in Atlanta to apprehend 2 young people in the midst of protesting. I am concerned, and I cannot look away. For 8 minutes and 46 seconds, people did not look away as George Floyd experienced his last breath. I invite you not to look away. I am so proud of the African Americans, white Americans, and all other Americans, Indian Americans, all other Americans who make up this fabric that we know as America, an American. I am so proud of the ones who went out into the street and protested. I am deeply honored and thankful for them for standing up. I am grateful for protesters across the world who stood up to say, enough is enough. We are not even in America, and we are tired of hearing news of police officers brutalizing African Americans in broad open daylight. But not all cops are the same, and you don't need me to tell you that. But the ones who are reverent, the ones who are respectful, the ones who are diplomatic, the ones who are creditable officers who go out and protect us are not the ones who get the media attention. They are not the ones we see helping, putting their lives on the line, doing what they are paid to do. When you see injustice, speak up. When you see a ban that needs to be called for, speak up. Use your platforms if you don't go out into the streets and protest. hopefully peacefully. Use your platform. Speak up on social media. If your president can do it, you can too. You know, like I know, that if black officers went into a white home and killed a woman in that home, it would not just be a clerical mistake. If these black officers were known for hatred against whites, these black officers would not walk free. Black, white, brown, red, yellow, we must come together, because this is not about black and white. This is about justice. This is about white supremacy. This is about ingrained hatred, so finely ingrained into the fabric of society that it is dispensed throughout all of our systems in society. Government, education, medical field, all of our systems. Systemic racism exists, and African Americans are at the brunt of it. We cannot go back. And as Dr. King said, we cannot wait. You cannot wear a badge and hold a gun when black lives do not matter to you. All lives are important. All lives matter. White lives, brown lives, red lives, yellow lives, all lives matter. LGBT lives, transgender lives. The time is now. Speak up. If you don't want to walk and protest, protest right here on YouTube. Protest peacefully. But whatever you do, do not look away. When you look away, you are a part of the systemic racism that happens. And don't you think, if you are African American and you're looking away, that it couldn't touch you tomorrow. Find a way to speak up. Find a way to use your voice. Find a way to use your platforms. If not but for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. I challenge you to speak up in some way. Viral videos are a choice of weapons. I think about Gordon Parks and his book, A Choice of Weapons. A cell phone video can be seen around the world. I cannot look away. I will not look away. So I am here for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. If Germany's Merkel can sit up and say Germany has racism as well, and we need to do something about ours too, we're all working on this. You can too. I can too. Take the challenge and stand up however you feel necessary to stand up. Even if you sit on Twitter and say no more, the buck stopped. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in another video. I wish you peace. I wish you love. I wish you all that life has to offer in the way of happiness and goodness. I send you love, peace, and blessings. Good night.